Video on Desmos, which is based on a topic on a module which is called Evidence in Thinking. And my initiative is called Reinforcing Thinking using online learning tools, and this is specially designed for grades 6 to 12. The purpose of this workshop or my initiative is to allow teachers to have a clear and better understanding of how to effectively use and apply Desmos tools to build on student thinking. The key idea here is thinking, and the technology that we will be analyzing here will be on Desmos. The rationale on why I am creating this is really because of the current situations online or blended learning or the reduced face-to-face instructions. I've noticed that teachers are now, using technologies more than ever, and what a better way to bring that idea than using Desmos. So this is something that I'd like to focus on. And it's really just to make students accountable, right, of their learning, especially if they're online. How can we really know how can we really know that they understand this topic? Or how can we really visually see their thinking if we have, a reduced face-to-face instruction, right? If they're online, it'll be really tough. So this is why Desmos is a great tool here, which I'll show you in a sec, that it can make learning more transparent and easily accessible for all students. These are some of the data that I found here. I've grouped based on context, collaboration, and feedback. Data learning with technology, especially for Desmos. Again, it's because we are in this blended or remote learning right now, so it is important to bring in that tool, especially in a math classroom. Also, Desmos is a great way, or just the lesson activity itself is a great way for students to share, ask questions, share ideas, challenge each other in interesting ways. The links are here for you to read more on. Also, Desmos provide that immediate feedback, which is just great because some feedback are not just simply black and white. It actually gives you a reason why. Why this is maybe an incorrect answer. Why are there other ways to achieve the same thing? So it just gives the student an organic way to respond to that. This is a study that I found online, which is actually really interesting because there are two things that are involved here, which is task involved, performance, and ego involved kind of performance. So students are actually, according to a study, students actually scored higher in learning and thinking and understanding overall if it's task involved situations like providing comments, providing feedback, rather than just providing praises and grades, which are ego involved. So I thought that is something really interesting to share. These are just 3 steps to create or implement Desmos. So you can create your account, explore existing activities, so just to get your feet wet, or you can create or modify activities based on your liking. This is another data that or another article that I found here. Now, this article is actually not necessarily an empirical data. It doesn't show empirical data figure, but it does have a summary of the data that was analyzed in another study. So essentially, this is also applied for any kind of questions in a math classroom, but more specific for Desmos, it's a good idea to see what your goals are, what's your curricular competencies for this particular task. Make sure to choose your task carefully, emphasize the meaning of the problem, solutions, and allow students to really explore on their own instead of saying based on memory, right? So instead of memorizing everything, the students, especially with the open tasks, students are able to take ownership of their learning. So by exploring their own methods. Desmos has their own blog, which is amazing. It's actually created by many wonderful educators out there. I'm sure many of their names we have heard of, but one of the quotes that resonated with me is this one. It's that create opportunity for students to be right and wrong in different, interesting ways. So again, this really prompts your thinking, and that maybe there is no one answer that fits all, right? It just gives them more confidence, right? It helps them to boost their confidence, especially when learning math. Another question that resonated with me is that gives feedback that attaches meaning to student thinking, and this really is applicable to our teaching practices because if we don't provide any feedback, or if we just simply look at student answer and tell them what's right or wrong, even especially on Desmos, it doesn't really give students any ways or any rooms to make improvement. So this is definitely a very important quote that resonated with me. Especially so at the end of the day, it is really important for students to really have that critical and creative thinking. And what's a better way to do that than to use Desmos? Obviously, there are many other tools out there, um, online technology, online tools that students and teachers can use. And yeah, so overall, it is what we're trying to do is to have them kind of really take ownership of their learning and to really get them be more comfortable and confident in learning math. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can reach me on my email here.